Okay. So I was telling you that in order to assess your writing with respect to lexical resource, what I would do, I will just check that if you're writing, in your writing, you have used a wide range of vocabulary, number one, and this use is very natural and sophisticated, or you can say a flexible way of writing. You have not inserted some, some words mechanically. There are some people, they just, memorize some heavy words, and then they try to fit in those words forcefully into the sentences. Okay, so that should not happen. There should be a natural and sophisticated use of these lexical features. Then there are some, you can say, there are some rare minor errors, and that too, they occur as slips. That means if I have to write THEIR, instead of that, just in hurry, I have written THER. So examiner would understand that, okay, this has occurred as a slip only. But if that is not the case, I would check a lower grade. Here, if you see, uses a wide range of vocabulary, not with a very natural and sophisticated control, but still fluently and flexibly. And it still conveys a precise meaning. If that is the case, you will get 8 band in that. Let's say if that's not the case, then I will come down and I would see if the candidate uses a sufficient range. Now you compare it. There was a wide range, and here it is a sufficient range. Then there was, fluently and flexibly. The writing or this usage of lexical resource was just fluent and flexible. But here, it allows some flexibility and precision. You see. So if that is not the case, we'll come down and we'll see uses an adequate range. Now this is no more sufficient, or this is no more wide, and there's no discussion of flexibility and precision. Similarly, I will check other dimensions of this criterion. Skillfully uses uncommon lexical items, but there may be occasional inaccuracies. And here, if you see, uses lexical items, not skillful uses. Okay, with some awareness. And if you come down further, attempts to use. Okay, similarly, if we talk about, I'm sorry, let me clear it. Now, if we talk about the third dimension, that is produces rare errors in the spelling. And here, if you see, in the first, it was rare minor errors. And in the sixth, makes some errors. Can you see that? So this way, your writing is assessed. So I'm done with whatever I wanted to cover about your assessment criteria. These things are available on internet, on free sources. You can see or watch or read it from there, or else if you want to take a picture, you can take a picture of these criteria. Okay, I'm giving you a time, some time, and just let me know once you are done, so I can move forward to the next slide.
I'm done.
Okay.
Every sentence we have to use variety of words, like you have given example of rare errors and minor errors. So in every sentence we have to be like use different.
Yes, it's better to use as much variety as possible. Okay, I'll show you. Here, minor errors means spelling errors. Okay. Okay. So are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is second criterion, coherence and cohesion. Done.
Yes.
I thought girls are quick in taking pictures, but no.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Halima, are you done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lexical resource.
Yes. Okay.
Already done.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. You can.
Okay. And then grammatical range and accuracy.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
sir. You can.
I hope. So any questions so far? We haven't started the actual lecture yet, but I hope things are clear now. This was the basis that I wanted you girls to know. Let me check my message if it's okay. Done. Thank you, doctor. Okay, try to resolve this issue. Okay. Now, first of all, you already know. I hope you already know that for writing task or writing test, you have 1 hour in total, and I have given a recommended distribution of time for task 1 and task 2. And we also know that 20 minutes are recommended for task 1 and 40 minutes are recommended for task 2. Now,
Okay.
generally speaking, right now my focus will be task 2 only, right? Generally speaking, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes to understand the question. This is very important because I have seen some students, they just, don't understand the question and they start writing. I will show you a very valid example of this, a real-time example that happened with one of my students, and I will show you, okay? He was a doctor again. Most of my students are doctor. I have to deal with them all the time. I don't know why. So now planning. The next thing is you need to spend some 5 to 6 minutes on planning your essay. This is very, very important. Remember, what happens that there's a general tendency among candidates that they just right away, want to start writing. Once they do that, their essay is ill organized. There is no logical flow in their essay. And now you know which criterion it will affect if there's no logical flow: coherence and cohesion. You have just seen it.
Exactly.
Okay? So
Yeah.
you need to plan first and then you need to write. Like you would say, you would think or you would plan that, well, how many or paragraph I should have for this particular topic. Then you would see that, okay, in which paragraph, what points I need to cover. Okay, once you're done with this, trust me, your essay is going to be, a wonderful essay. It will have a logical flow in it. It will be very well organized, and trust me, your ideas and your arguments would be very, very attractive. Okay,
Okay.
so far so that sometimes for those students, for those students who have a good writing speed, like doctors generally have a good writing speed, uh, I recommend to spend about even 8 minutes on this. I will show you and I will teach you this part today in detail, and I will show you some writing, example as well. But my main focus would be planning, how to plan an essay. If this part is done, you will see yourself just after maybe 30 minutes that rest part is very easy. Rest of the game is not an issue at all. Okay, so if you spend 5 to 6 minutes on it, then you would have about 29 to 30 minutes to write. But if you spend 8 minutes on planning, obviously this planning automatically reduces your writing time because you have all the things ready with you. You just have to, start making. You have all the points with you, and you have to start writing those points in form of sentences, and that's it. Then do spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes on proofreading. This is very important. Why? Now I want to give you some examples again. Because of our, texting habits, what happens that I've seen some students writing RITE, right. Because in generally some people they just abbreviate the things, or they just write a simpler form, like instead of writing you, they just write you, the letter U. Okay, so there are some mistakes because of this. Then there are some mistakes, for example, I didn't. Okay, this is didn't, right? Just assume this is didn't. I didn't went there. Now it should have been I didn't go there. But just in flow, you use the second tense, second form of the, the verb, the past form. So you can correct such things. Similarly, I along with my brother, or sorry, he along with his brother. Now, what do you think? Go there or goes there? Go there or goes?
Go.
Goes. When I say he along with, actually, it's just he who is going. He goes, and along with is an additional thing. But if I say he and his brother, then it would be go. In because of shortage of time and we are writing very quickly, there's some, we call it verb subject disagreement. Okay, so sometimes there's a singular verb and we are supposed to write s or es with the verb for that particular subject, but just in a hurry we miss it. So this proofreading actually helps you to figure out 4 to 5 such mistakes in 3 minutes. Now just imagine if you somehow corrected 4 to 5 mistakes, that means there is a chance that you have increased your band score from 6.5 to 7. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now let's start with understanding the question. In this, for Halima, she is new to IELTS, but for you two other girls, you won't see anything new except one point that I want to make. There's one point that is very important. So for that, you will have to listen to my 15 minutes lecture now. Okay. And then there's planning. This thing would be new for all of you. I know this is my idea or this is my guess that this thing would be new for all of you. Okay. And this is the main core of today's lesson. So now I'm moving forward. Now let's try to understand the question. In IELTS writing test, there are 3 parts of the question. The first part gives you 1 or 2 statements. For example, here, in this red part, the internet allows us to stay connected with each other no matter where we are. On the other hand, it also isolates us and encourages people not to socialize. Now, in this particular example, there are 2 parts or 2 statements. The first statement is telling you that internet helps us to stay connected. And the second thing is, the second statement is telling you, no, internet actually isolates people. Many people, they just, all the time they are locked in their rooms and they're using social websites, but they are not socializing with their friends or family. Okay, so there are 2 statements in this particular task. Sometimes there's 1 statement, sometimes there are 2 statements. The first part only gives you that statements. But what you have to do with these statements or this statement, that is given in the second part of the task 2 question. Now here in green, if you see, to what extent do you agree or disagree with these statements? This part, this actually tells you what you have to do with these statements. Okay. Then the third part, it tells you that what you have to include in your essay. Okay, I will just cover this part maybe for 2 to 3 minutes now, and after that, I will not touch upon these things, but these 2 will be, the topic of my remaining lecture. Now let me. The first part says give reasons for your answer. Why do you agree or disagree, or why you agree to some extent? Now here they have asked you to what extent you agree. Do you fully agree? Do you partially agree? Do you completely disagree, or completely, or sorry, or partially disagree? Okay, so you have to give reasoning for that. I will tell you a format or a structure of the essay in which reasoning will automatically be included. So you don't need to worry about this part. Okay, today I will teach you a structure of an essay in which your reasoning will automatically included. Next, include any relevant example from your own knowledge or experience. Here, there are some points that I want to tell. Number one, there are two types, like it's not written in some book, but this is, just to make you understand, I have categorized it into two types, right? The one type is an example from based on someone's experience. An example based on someone's experience. For example, if there's a topic about uh, bad or harmful effects of watching TV for longer duration, let's say there's a topic about harmful effects of watching TV for longer durations. In that, I can write an example. For example, one of my cousin's kids or one of my cousin's daughters, she faced or had some obesity problem or poor low eyesight issue because of watching TV. Now, this example is based on the experience of someone related to me, or even this experience can be my personal experience. Clear? So I can give a very specific example in which my example would be based on my personal experience or experience of someone related to me. For example, one of my relatives, one of my cousins, one of my brothers, my sister, my mother, my father, okay, one of my friends, one of my neighbors, one of my colleagues. So all these are related to me, and I'm giving a specific example of their experience or my experience. This is one way of giving an example. Now there's an other way of giving an example, and that is based on the general knowledge of the word. In that you will
Okay.
write something. For example, we have seen, or for example, a recent study have shown that kids or children nowadays are gaining weight and facing high cholesterol or maybe diabetes or something, or maybe some mood disorders because of watching TV for long durations. Or I can say, I can give an other example. For example, nowadays, youngsters are watching TV or using internet sites, or sorry, social websites a lot. Now, this is not related to someone specific. I'm just giving an general example that, for example, nowadays so and so thing is happening. Clear? Okay. Another point about giving example is, second point. Sometimes we just, you know, give multiple examples in one sentence. And sometimes we just take one example and we expand it. Fine. Like if I write, there are multiple problems associated with watching TV for longer duration. For example, obesity, sorry, that means like gaining weight, okay? And then eyesight issues, high cholesterols, and so on. Now I'm giving multiple examples, just separated by comma. Okay, but I can also give an example, something like, for example, one of my cousins was facing this problem, who used to watch TV and blah 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 blah, and I've just expanded this one obesity example or eyesight example onto 2 lines. Both of them are correct, but actually you have to maintain a balance. In a paragraph, in a paragraph, if I get time, I would obviously explain how many points should be there in each paragraph, what should be the length of the example, and so on. But for let's see, you have to write advantages and disadvantages of internet. Okay, and in this paragraph, you want to write advantages. But unluckily, that was your bad day. Let's say unluckily, unfortunately, that was your bad day, and you could only you could think of only 2 advantages. Okay.
Alright.
Now you see, in one paragraph there has to be at least let's say 10 lines. I will talk about these lines, or how many lines should be there or how many words should be there. But let's say, generally speaking, there should be 10 lines. Now, these 2 points, just 2 advantages, cannot, produce these many words. And you have to write, obviously, 250 words in total at least. So just to make that word count achievable, what you do, you just expand the examples. Fine. You will write a point, an advantage of maybe 2 and 2.5 lines, then you'll give an example of 2.5 lines. So that would actually make up the deficiency of points that you have. Similarly, not only for examples, even for advantage. Let's say I was, that was a very good day for me. My mama was, praying for me, and I got 7 advantages. I could think of 7 advantages on the exam day in 1 minute. So what I would do, I would just write 1 or 2 or 3 advantages in an expanded form, and for remaining advantages, I would say, apart from this, speed, ease of connectivity, online business use, online education are certain other advantages of internet. Okay, I have just named all these advantages in one word, and I've separated them with comma. That's it. But if that was a bad day and I could recall only two things, 2 advantages, like one is online business, and second advantage is connectivity with family and friends. So then I would not say that internet has got many advantages, such as online businesses and connectivity with friends. In that case, I would say internet is a wonderful tool that allows us to stay connected with our family and friends, no matter where we are. So now I'm expanding on this single point. I hope that is clear. That is just to give you
Yes.
a short idea, right? Now let's move to the main part of the lecture. Not yet main part of the lecture, but understanding the questions. I'm sorry if you are getting irritated by the details, but it's for your benefit. One of you, I'm sure about one of you is very new to it, so I have to go into the basics. Okay, for those who have already attempted IELTS test, they must be knowing these things already, right? Now here, I want to uh, explain you that what kind of questions you may expect. Okay, in that, there's one very important example that all of you should focus on. I'll tell you when it will come, right? Now here in this slide, on your left side, you have seen, or you can see, the first part of the task one. I've just told you on the previous slide that there are 3 parts of task 2. In the first part, there's one or two statements. In the second part, there's a question. So again, here on the left side, there are statements written for you, and there are some questions written here on the second, on the right side of the slide. Okay. So now, if you read the first statement, and who will read it now? Now I will involve you guys. Number one, who will read it? Just read it.
Me. Children have to be educated, but they also have to be allowed to learn things for themselves.
Okay. So now, what do you think? Is it one or two statements?
I guess it's like two statements.
Okay. What about you? Sorry, I forgot the name. Sorry, Halima. What do you think? It's actually single statement. Okay, it doesn't matter actually is two or one, but this is actually a single statement in which
Okay.
there are two parts. Like if I say, well, that's fine. The children have to be educated, but now this part is not complete without the second part.
Mm.
Okay, so this is single statement. Now, what do you think? What kind of question we can expect with these kind of or this kind of statement? Can we expect a question like, what are the advantages and disadvantages of each system?
Uh, I think statement C and D could be
Okay,
relevant
okay,
to this
okay, yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah. We will go one by one, right? We'll go one by one. What do you think? Is it possible to have a question like this with this kind of statement?
Uh, it can be.
No, it
It is a
cannot be. No, no,
possibility.
no, 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 it cannot be. First of all, it is here, what are the advantages of each system? That means there has to be two systems in the
Two systems.
statement.
No, that's a single system.
Yeah, actually,
Okay.
that is even not a system. You see, for system, I would just want you guys to look at this number 5. Halima, I want you to read it, please. If you can, if you have any problem, like sometimes, some students have a company who are sleeping or something. So if you have some problems, I can ask Rida for that. But if you can read, please do read.
Fifth one.
Fifth one, yeah.
Okay. Some countries reduce inner city traffic by increasing public transport. Others impose a tax on people who drive in the city.
Yeah. Now you see, these are two systems followed by two countries to reduce the inner city traffic.
Yes, sir.
So with such kind of questions, you can, statements, you can expect a question like this. Okay, there's a small variation of such questions in which they ask you write the advantages and disadvantages of each method. Now there's a difference between method and system. In method, the system is imposed by the government or maybe by the organization.
Okay.
But method is a personal choice kind of thing. For example, if I say some teachers use whiteboards to teach their students and they are not very interactive, while other teachers, they use digital means to teach their students and they are very interactive. So these are two different methods adopted by different kinds of teachers. Okay, okay, I'm getting a call from my mom from US. Okay, just give me a minute, okay, and I'll be back,
Sure.
right? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You can have chit chat.
To be allowed. So, Shweta,
Well, let's resume now. So I hope that is clear. There's a difference between system and method, right? So now
Yes.
let's see if we can expect a question like B, a question like B, with a statement like 1. Discuss both statements and give your own opinion. So obviously we have just concluded that this is not one statement.
yes.
Okay, for this we need to have two statements like in question number 4. Computers allow us to stay connected with each other. However, they also encourage people not to go out and socialize. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Yes.
read question number this statement number 2, and tell me if this is one statement or two statement.
Mm, okay, it's not that I'm doing this, it's a consumer, I think
Very quick, very quick.
and it's a there's a kind of answer here. Oh, yeah, I think this is one statement.
Okay, what about you, Rita?
So much, I think it's like two statements. Like on one side they're saying कि advertisement spoils our enjoyment, and the other side they're like in the favor of that.
Correct.
So
So these are two statements that are obvious from the meaning of the statements as well as
exactly
from these quotation marks.
Okay.
true.
Like this quotation mark starts with that is view or quotation quote of one person, and according to this person, uh, he or she actually, okay, for that matter, she doesn't like advertisement much, and she thinks that if some advertisement come in between uh, her favorite drama, it spoils her entertainment. But for second, she enjoys the advertisement more than drama. Okay, so this is again, and this statement is starting with another quotation mark, and it is ending with at the end another quotation mark. So these are two statements again.
Hmm.
Clear? Okay.
So
Now, yeah.
you have to write, like for first part, you have to write, we have to prove this point. We have to support it. We have to support it otherwise. Like how we will we deal with these two statements, because these are very different, isn't it?
Okay, okay, that I will cover. Right now, my purpose is just to tell you or give you an idea about different kinds of questions that you may face.
Okay.
Okay,
Fine.
I'll tell you how to deal with this. That's why I wanted you to actually attempt one test before joining the session. I'm not sure if you have attempted it or not, but still, you'll be able to make some sense. At the end of this lecture, I will maybe today or tomorrow I will be sending this recording of this lecture to you girls. Okay, the video recording of this lecture. So you may consult it later on as well once you are familiar with the kind of questions, the types of questions, and you have actually attempted some questions. Okay, right now, just try to understand that, okay, these are the kind of questions that you may face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Fine.
now one last thing that I want to highlight, and this is the most important point. Okay, now even if you are not a beginner or a new student, new candidate, yet you have to focus on this. To what extent do you think this is a positive trend? What do you think? Does this statement number 1 may have an associated question like C?
Educated, but
This is correct.
yes, it can be.
Yes.
Sorry, your voice is too low.
Sir, I guess that it can be a possibility,
No,
because in that statement, as you said that, like basically, they said that children have to be educated, but
okay,
um,
okay. No,
they have also given
no,
a new idea over there, like
no,
new way of learning. So we can say,
no. Okay,
uh,
okay. Let me conclude it.
oh,
Okay. Actually,
okay,
whenever there's a discussion about trend, then there will be
okay,
a difference in a scenario. There will be a comparison of past and present.
okay,
Okay, like if I say nowadays more and more people are eating more fast food.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Now,
like question number six.
yeah. So now, if I say that people are eating more fast food, what does it mean? It means
That
it
and
means that in the past they used to eat less, and now they are eating more fast food, right? So that means there's a comparison between past and present. Correct?
oh,
So
okay, fine.
when that either that would be the case, or there would be something. Uh, this thing has changed to this. Fine. So again, there's a comparison of past and present. This is one point that you should know. Second point, there would be some words like nowadays, these days, recent times. There might be something like present continuous tense. Nowadays, people are doing this. Nowadays, people are doing this, right? And then there are three different words used almost in the same meaning in IELTS. Now, this is important. Now, this session will end maybe in a minute or so. So once it will be disconnected, we'll start from this point. But let me continue until then. So I was telling you that there are three words which are used almost in the same meaning. One is trend, second is progress, and third is development. Now, in general, our general language, we just, from progress and development, we just think of the word tarakki, the improvement.
Yes.
Okay, but here it doesn't mean progress or development. It means a change that has occurred.